I think consistency on my channel is akin to the end of days, because it almost never happens. But it's happening today, so. So, welcome to another Diamond Art time-lapse, except this time, instead of reading through my old blog, which I've all but abandoned, I'm going to read from my digital journal. I'm taking a break from my huge 80 by 40 centimeter moonscape to do a little 15.7 by 15.7 square one. And I started it 2 days ago, and it took me yesterday and today to finish it. So you won't see the beginning of this video, but you will see me finishing up this one. So let's call this video a finishing up a work in progress. I really don't know what else to say, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so this was written all the way back on September 6th when I had a day at the mall. Doesn't sound like much, I know, but it's been hard for me to go out by myself recently, let alone taking the bus all the way to Devonshire. I'm a little late in writing this, but luckily I took notes so that I'd remember all the details. At least the ones that were important enough for me to write down. I've been trying to write things down more, especially the things that make me happy. I spend so many sleepless nights lamenting over awful things, and it only worsens my anxieties. So while I may be failing, I want to make a real effort in writing down my state of mind as often as I can for both the good and the bad moments. I don't know where the idea to go to the mall came from. I kind of just decided to go on a whim. When I asked Mom, she suggested that I buy some new jeans, mostly because I need new pants. So I made my list, visiting Cinema One to buy a movie I wanted, Journey to Bethlehem, it's amazing, Old Navy for jeans, and Indigo because I just really like books. It was sort of cloudy, but not dreary, which I like in the weather. There was a lovely, cool breeze that really reminded me of autumn. I was wearing the red jacket I loved so much, and I bought a bunch of ribbons to go in my hair. I wore the red ones as bows in my braids. I started my listening, because I'm constantly listening to music, mostly musical theater, with the soundtrack of A Journey to Bethlehem, actually. The bus was due at 5:15, and despite the fact that I arrived at 4:55, the bus didn't actually get there until 5:40. At that point, Journey to Bethlehem was over, so I started listening to the Broadway Anastasia instead. I might actually want to do not rant videos, but talking videos about those two things, because I like talking about them. I think they're cool. But anyway, as the bus passed by what I think was a small train yard, I realized that I'm starting to recognize the route. Now, I don't think I could walk there myself, let alone drive. I'm afraid of cars. But it's nice to know that after 4 years in Windsor, things are starting to look familiar. When I got there, I found out that Cinema One was gone, which I was gutted about. Not only could I not buy Journey to Bethlehem anymore, but my favorite movie store is gone. I guess I'll have to find a new one. Cursed digital streaming, because no one buys DVDs anymore. But that didn't bother me for long, because the Hot Topic was just around the corner. For context, I haven't been to a Hot Topic in years, mostly because they didn't have one in Guelph. But I live in Windsor now, so I decided to have a look, buying myself a bejeweled treble clef hair clip and a pair of strawberry dangle earrings. I made 2 pit stops at Icing, which is basically just Claire's, but for grown-ups, and GameStop, but I didn't buy anything at either of those places. Next stop was Indigo, which to this day I cannot stop calling chapters. I wanted to buy a quote-unquote real book, but I was so engrossed by the manga selection. I bought volume 12 of Persona 5, which was the newest one, and the modern English version of manga classics Romeo and Juliet. Funny thing happened, though. Ever since the release of Gravity Falls Book of Bill, the Gravity Falls fandom has been resurrected, including my interest in it. When I was in the checkout, I saw 2 girls fawning over a copy of Journal 3, so it looks like I'm not alone. Next stop was Old Navy. I bought those jeans that I've been needing, 2 pairs, one a little too big, but whatever, and a black dress I plan on using for my Halloween costume. I want to go as Riona, the love interest from my favorite childhood novel, Princess of the Wild Swans by Diane Zollher, and trust me, Princess of the Wild Swans and Diane Zollher are going to get their own video because I need to talk about them eventually. I love them so much. Anyway, it was at that point that I had a massive panic attack because I realized I left my Hot Topic bag in Indigo, which had jewelry in it. Luckily, I got there in time, and they gave it back to me. They knew I left it at the counter, so they kept it back. And then, finally, it was time to stop at the food court. When I was little, I used to love New York fries, and I only ever found them in the malls I would go to. So, for a touch of nostalgia, I got myself a poutine. Little too much gravy, but wonderful cheese. Mom also wanted me to pick her up some Thai food, and so that was my final stop at the mall before hitting the bus stop once again. But that was my day at the mall. I don't really have much else to say, but I really hope you enjoyed watching my diamond art process. I find them really fun to watch. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and have a great day.